Hey, Coach. Hope you're doing well. What was your first impression of Kyle Trask, and what has stood out to you so far through rookie minicamp and OTAs?
Yeah, my first impression was that he picked it up pretty darn quickly, that he's a very accurate guy with the football, and probably the thing that has jumped out is that he's still a rookie and that we've thrown a lot at him and that he's swimming right now. So, there's no shortcut on this thing, but he's gotten a lot of great reps. It's been good having Griff here because that gives him someone who's kind of done this stuff before, gives a chance to model it out in front of him. But he's been impressive. He's done a good job, hit the wall a little bit today, and again, we hit him with all the situations so that now it'll be a repeat going into mini camp, and we'll do everything for the second time through.
And speaking of Griff, how do you balance coaching three veterans like Tom, Blaine, and Griff with experience in this system compared to a rookie like Trask, who Byron Leftwich just said knows nothing about nothing?
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to have a rookie guy. Those other guys are well down the road. They understand what we're doing. They're kind of more maintenance as far as coaching them. It's not like, it's not like you're having to rebuild anything. And so just have a young rookie guy is really, really, to me, one of the fun things about coaching is you just start from the beginning and you start from scratch there, and he'll be a fun guy to be around this year and just kind of start from the beginning with just kind of a bunch of pieces on the ground and start building it the way you want it built.
Next, we'll go to Jenna Lane. If any media have questions, please raise your hand.
Hey, Coach. Great to see you. Thanks so much for doing this.
Hi, Jenna. Thanks.
So I know you can appreciate this, and I asked this question of Coach Leftwich too, but Cliff Kingsbury recently came out with a funny story about Tom and just his dedication. They were at a wedding together in the Bahamas, and after being hungover, he was out there at 7:30 in the morning throwing footballs and training. And Kingsbury basically called him a sociopath and just said, and I quote, "His desire to be the best ever is on another level. The world hasn't seen much like this. A guy who's dedicated every waking moment, diet, sleep, work ethic to being the best ever." You always have such great stories. I'm just curious if you have any anecdotes, maybe not of him being hungover and practicing, but of that sociopathic type of approach that has allowed him to be who he is.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. I mean, it is who he is, and so probably every story has some of that in him. I think I shared with you. I don't know if I shared with you personally, but I shared with some folks after, the morning after the Super Bowl. I bet it was 8:30, and we'd been out all hours of the night and had all the grandkids in the bed, and got a FaceTime from him at 8:30, and basically the message was a couple fold, but the big thing was he said, "Hey, I've just been sitting here thinking about we can really be a lot better next year. We still haven't hit our peak, and I really believe we got a chance to be much, much, much better this year." And there's a guy who you wake up and all of a sudden he's thinking about, instead of just savoring it for 2 weeks and then starting on the next year, there's a guy who, wakes up and, calling his coach at 8:30 just saying, "Hey, man, I'm excited about next year because we can be even better, that we haven't hit our stride yet." So, yeah, but almost every story about him is kind of the same, and almost every conversation is the same. That he's unbelievable. The one thing I'd say about him that but that he's pleasant, and that he has another life. He enjoys people, enjoys traveling, he enjoys all his other things, and so he's able to do both. He's amazing that way for me to watch him. Just that some guys are just so possessed they make everyone around him miserable. He's opposite. That he's pleasant to be around, and yet you still know that it's on his mind every waking hour. How do I get better? How do I get better? How do I get better? And that's a rarity on people who work and are as possessed as he is with one thought, that they tend to make people miserable around him. And he's extremely pleasant to be around, extremely pleasant to be teammates with. And doesn't mean you don't get driven, doesn't mean that he doesn't make you better, doesn't mean that he doesn't press, but he has an ability to keep it in perspective somewhat.
What types of things did you guys talk about in that FaceTime as far as ways that you can improve together and be better for this next year?
Yeah, he was excited. He had said all along, I don't think he was 100% last year, and he said, his his quote, or close to a quote, was, "Hey, I'm going to get my knee fixed up and I'm going to be much better than last year. And you're going to be excited about that." And he says, "We're going to get you in shape and take a little bit of weight off you. So you're going to be even better next year." And so I think kind of half joking, half serious, he would, you know, I told him I was with him on the knee, the weight part. We'll have to wait and see. But, that's just how he sees things. That's, that would be, and then just kind of, I think he was thinking more about himself and really feeling like, hey, when I get this knee fixed up and feel better and can move better, and he's not going to, he knows he's not going to be Michael Vick, but just to feel good, I think is a big thing, with any of us, that performance-wise, you want to feel good, and I think that thing was a nagging nuisance to him, having to tape it every day, having to, just make sure he had that thing loose. So I think he's excited about just feeling good again and feeling great again. So I think that was more the detail of it.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Joey Knight.
Coach, Bruce is asked this all the time. I'll ask it to you. How much longer do you want to go? Are you feel like you're winding down, or is this success kind of giving you a new lease on your football coach life?
You know what? I've always enjoyed what I'm doing, and I really think it does make me feel younger. And certainly these guys, and being in Tampa, I'm probably not a whole lot dissimilar to Tom. Being on grass, being in good weather, being with great people, and in winning. I feel like, you could do this for another 25 years. So we'll see if my wife lets me. It'll all come down to the boss, and we'll see if she lets me do it. But this is not a job to me. This is so far from a job to me. This is a blast. I have fun doing it. And, I think there's something that just serving, just seeing people get better, that none of it's about me, that, such a small piece in this whole thing, but just seeing people get better. And, now Trask, that energizes me, being able to see a guy like Trask who wants to be good and now feel like we're starting again. And, I think probably the last time I really just had a guy like him was Luck, his rookie year. And that was one of the most fun years there was, just because you come in and just kind of a clean slate and you start rolling. And it's really, really been fun. Coach Arians is really phenomenal to work for. He's phenomenal to work for, which that means a lot for coaches. If just there's a respect and a honoring of your time, and I think that's what coaches look for. I think probably the thing that would get me out is if all of a sudden, you just felt like your time wasn't your own and you didn't have any other life or something, but that's not the case here. And so I am having a blast, and I'm probably going to stay until they run me out of here and get tired of me. So.
Right. Thanks.
Next, we'll go to Matt Matera.
Hey, Coach, I just wanted to get your thoughts about Kyle Trask and his football IQ, what you've seen and how he's been able to take what he's learned in the classroom and taking it onto the field.
Yeah, it's been good. I think he's one of those guys who he's not here's how I would describe him: a really deliberate learner. He takes it nice and slow. He tries to get the details of the thing, and then once he gets it, he gets it. So he's not one of those guys who looks at it once and's got it. And he's a guy who, is going to mull over it. He's going to call most nights with some questions and, hey, what do you think on this? What do you think on that? He watches a ton of film. That rookie mini camp a couple times, I think I mentioned to you, I left here and then by the time I left the building, the light was still on in the quarterback room, and he was in there just kind of going over his notes. And so it means a ton to him. And I think he'll be a guy who will get it slow and steady, but then get it the right way and have it in order, and we'll have it then. So I think he'll be really deliberate how he processes all this information.